San Diego history will be made this weekend when the city's first underground transportation facility opens its doors to the public. Good evening, I'm Gloria Penner. Inside the new trolley station at San Diego State University, it is absolutely beautiful. It's part of the new San Diego Mission Valley East Trolley Green Line opening July 9th. This new line was first envisioned more than 25 years ago, and it's almost 6 miles long, running generally alongside Interstate 8 from the Mission San Diego station to the Grossmont Transfer Station in La Mesa. And as you'll see, one of the most remarkable features of the new trolley line is the tunnel beneath SDSU and the new subterranean station built near the center of the campus. Tonight we're taking you inside to learn more about this unique tunnel, its planning, engineering, and construction, and what it took to get it accomplished. We'll also find out what makes the Green Line different from the trolley we've known for several years. We'll be talking with the CEO of the Metropolitan Transit System, Paul Jablonski. He's promised us a special tour you won't want to miss. But we want to start by talking about this station. Jim Linthicum is with SanDieg, and he is the project manager for the Green Line. Jim, you got the job when the previous director retired. Was this a dream come true for you or a nightmare?
No, this is absolutely a dream come true. And in fact, almost 20 years to the day, prior to when I started with the Metropolitan Transit System, is when I left the San Diego Trolley the first go-around. I was on the project from its inception of the South Line down to San Ysidro. And so this was absolutely a dream come true.
But considering that you were building an underground station under a huge university, SDSU, I mean, what was involved in building something like this?
Well, this is a one-of-a-kind station for the MTS system, for the trolley system. It's our first underground station, it's our first tunnel. It's a huge undertaking. And in fact, one of the things that we found is, unlike most of the transportation facilities we build, this is much more like a building, an underground building, than it is a light rail line, just because of all the features that go involved in building this station underground.
Explain what you mean by an underground building.
Well, when you have a station that has customers in your underground, like this building is, especially being on the State University campus, you have to have fire protection systems and alarm systems and evacuation plans and things like that. They're very similar to a high-rise. And so building this and getting the proper permits was very similar to being like a high-rise. I work in the Wells Fargo building downtown, and if you lay the Wells Fargo building on its side and connect it to Petco Park via tunnel, that's basically what you have at the San Diego State Station here.
Well, there were plenty of doubters when the project was first mentioned, you know, building a tunnel under San Diego State University and a huge underground station. What were the particular challenges to the construction?
We have to keep a 35,000 student campus up and running, 7/24 during this entire construction. So that was one challenge. Another challenge is just the fact that we had a tunnel. We had two different types of tunnels. We have what's called a cut and cover tunnel, which is a large trench that you build sides and a bottom on and then put a lid on and backfill over. And then we had a more traditional type of tunnel, which is boring underneath the campus. And so we had that. We had building this huge cavern right in the middle of campus next to Adams Humanities, next to Aztec Center and the Open Air Theater. So there were many, many challenges.
Well, I just walked many, many steps down into this station. How far underground are we?
We're about 80 feet. Right above us here is a transit center where there are buses as we speak, picking up and dropping off people.
So 80 feet, that's comparable to how many stories in a house?
Oh, maybe 8 stories.
So we're 8 stories underground.
Yes.
Kind of puts it together. You also have some elevated sections, don't you?
Yes. A lot of this Mission Valley East line is elevated. In fact, we only have one crossing at grade where you have gates come down and bells go off. There's only one on this entire new segment. That's out near 70th Street. Our passenger station at Grantville is elevated. It's about 40 feet in the air, and it's a spectacular looking station just east of Mission Gorge Road, and you can see it from the freeway very, very clear, especially at night. It's the way it's lit up.
And when you're working on both a tunnel and a series of elevated stations, is it dangerous for the workers?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you're working underground or overhead, you have that added element of danger in addition to, all the heavy equipment that you're working around and just the general dangerous nature of construction.
Well, since there is this long stretch of elevated track in the Mission Valley extension, that's where it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And we are in earthquake country. So how does this compare, let's say, to building a bridge when it comes to seismic concerns?
This is built, whether or not we're in the tunnel and underground station here or one of the bridges that crosses Interstate 8, built to the latest and the greatest seismic standards. Caltrans sets the standards for the freeway bridges, and this bridge was built all to their standards. It means extra reinforcing in all the columns, extra reinforcement in the bridges, and so these things can shake, rattle, and roll, and they'll be fine.
And we will not see any effect on it in case of an earthquake. Up to what point?
Up to probably like a magnitude 7 on the Richter scale. It's not exactly defined that way, but that's probably the closest analogy.
When you were talking earlier about, this has to be treated like a building with all of the concerns about a building, if people need to get out of this station quickly, can it happen?
Absolutely. If there was some emergency in the tunnel, there are emergency exits inside each tunnel, stairways that lead to above ground, and the emergency facilities that we have set up here are incredible. We have heat detection and smoke detection and sprinkler systems, and we have software that will tell our computer sensors, it'll tell our computer which way to evacuate the people, which way to turn on the fans to blow the smoke, and so it's very, very high tech.
Well, that makes me feel totally safe. Thank you so much, Jim.
You're welcome.
When you see how wonderfully this has all come together, it's hard to imagine what it was like just a short time ago. Reporter Karen Rostada takes us back for a look at some of the special features of the Green Line when it was under construction.
It's February of 2003, and we're the first local TV crew to venture into the depths of the Trolley Tunnel underneath San Diego State University. Our tour guides are construction inspectors Tony Shine and Alf Evers.
What kind of process did it take to build this tunnel? I mean, what did it take to build this tunnel in terms of physically doing it?
Well, they have a piece of equipment that's like a backhoe where, you end up clawing the ground out. This is a soft ground tunnel. So
that's how the 4,000-foot-long tunnel looked then, and this is how it looked last fall, 19 months later. The tracks and electrical system in place, progress that could be seen throughout the underground trolley station.
Behind these doors is our West Auxiliary Power Room. This is one of the heartbeat of the station itself. This is the main electrical gear where the supply comes in from SDG&E. From this point on, it's distributed throughout the station. It supplies power to all our ventilation fans, basically all the lighting systems inside the station, as well as the tunnel itself.
Project manager Dave Ragland explained that the project was about 95% complete, with crews working hard to install the fire life safety equipment.
This is our damper rooms, typical for each one of the 4 fans. What you can see here is right now we have the dampers open to the tunnel below, which you can see.
And people would be standing right down here?
Just inside the station is about just on the end of this damper, and just around it is where the station platforms is.
The trains come in at the station platform, located 45 feet below the surface. Hanging right above the station platform are 5 sculptures made of steel cable wires. Trolley officials worked hard to find the best light source to illuminate the work. The The platforms themselves are paved with bricks and unique stepping stones that mirror a stream effect that is carried 25 feet up on the next floor, where you'll find the main entrance to the station on the north side of Aztec Walk.
We're on the station mezzanine. I believe you saw this construction approximately a year ago, so you can see a lot of the differences.
Yeah, I stood up here. It looks a lot different.
What you're looking at right now is a glass railing. This is part of one of the architectural features of the station, but it also has a practical standpoint because the overhead catenary wires on our trolley will be going up below us. So we made the railing actually go up much higher so that people can't get over and get to the power wires for the trolley itself. That's one way of handling that, making that a safe environment. What you see above you, if you look up, is again an architectural feature. You see we have panels between a lot of the columns or the beams, and we also have, but you can see that it stops right here. And what the architect and the artists were trying to accomplish was sort of a serpentine type effect on the station itself.
Construction began in November 2000. In 1999, the budget for the project was set at $361 million. That figure rose to $496 million last year. Reasons for the increase included the purchase of 11 more expensive trolley cars to allow passengers to board at the platform level. Another reason was actually construction of the tunnel and station. In addition to increased costs, there were also some delays. The new trolley line was projected to have been open last year. Now, with the project complete, it's up to the public to determine whether the Green Line extension was worth the wait.